we will. We're in our live stream room, which we debuted last week. Our live stream production technician is out of the office, so obviously this is my first day back in after a long adventure that we'll talk about in a little bit. But it's good to be back, and it's good to be back on our live show. But thank you guys for bearing with us. Today is the first time that we're, the last time that we're playing NBA 2K14, which can only mean one thing, right, Chris? That means NBA 2K15 is going to be broadcast on our very next broadcast on Tuesday.
That's right. So Tuesday, you're going to see the first full gameplay
They want the music
of NBA 2K15. So yeah, we're having some technical difficulties here. The live stream room is actually set up for a different live stream today, so we hopped and hijacked it.
We did
for today's 11 a.m. broadcast.
Evolve obviously is going to be played a little bit later, but we wanted to make sure we got a broadcast in this week since we missed the one on Tuesday with us being out in New York. And we're going to get into New York. We're going to get into a lot of things today as soon as we get through some of the game sound stuff.
Definitely.
And we can't hear you either, by the way. Just kidding.
Guys, bear with us while we get these technical difficulties sorted out. This is the fun of having...
Music down, voice up. Music down, voice up. Music down, voice up.
I wonder... Hold on. Let's try something.
You going to turn the sound off locally?
Let's try something.
No sound at all. Why are you in the credits?
Whoops.
Turn them all off.
Pharrell.
No game music whatsoever.
Right. How's that going?
Hopefully that
maybe
helps.
that'll work. Maybe that'll work. All right. So welcome. Maybe this is going to be more useful. Let me know, Mar, if that's more useful.
No, I think they can hear us. I just don't think that they can hear the. I don't think that they can hear the. They're getting overwhelmed.
Okay,
by
I think they can hear us. Let's switch back to our beautiful faces over here, Mar. All right. Let's do the intro for about the third time, as Macklemore is not yelling over us on the special NBA 2K live stream. Starting off.
What you don't want to listen to starting from the bottom 7 million times?
I'm really glad we have a new soundtrack because I think if I hear that song one more time, I might just stomp out of here.
Again, we are playing NBA 2K14 and listening to its soundtrack for the very last time today.
The
on
last
our
time.
podcast.
We are retiring NBA 2K14 officially from our standpoint. I haven't played this game in a while, actually.
Yeah, it's impossible to, right?
Yes.
At this point.
We have tons of NBA 2K15 news today. Ronnie, you said something kind of exciting. I don't know if the people heard you or they were listening to Macklemore, but what's going down on Tuesday? Because I think people are going to want to tune in.
I mean,
Tuesday.
we still have we're going back to our weekly Tuesday broadcast. We apologize again that we did not have a broadcast this Tuesday. Yourself and myself were in New York, obviously. But we are going to have a Tuesday broadcast, which can only mean one thing, that NBA 2K15 is going to debut for the very first time.
Yes. That is some very good news because I know a lot of people are excited to see that. And speaking of NBA 2K15,
who's trying to join
NBA
my
2K15
party?
rather, I'm creating a party because I guess it kills the music. So let's see what happens here.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, I think something like that. Yes.
No, that should do it.
So we have tons of news. Ronnie, let's kind of backtrack a little bit. I think our last broadcast was a few weeks ago, actually.
No, it was 10 days ago.
It feels like a few weeks ago.
The crazy thing about that to me was we had just come off of our community day. God, that feels like it was a long time ago. The fellas were in here the day before our broadcast. We promised something huge the very next day from our broadcast, and here we are 10 days later. Everybody's so excited. We hit people with that big news. It was all over the internet. Unfortunately, my face was all over the internet. That was such a big announcement with the face scanning, obviously, I'm talking about. And it's only grown and gotten bigger since then.
It's really crazy because this is something we've known for a while, and What an amazing accomplishment by the dev team,
yeah.
really, because we've known that they've been working really hard on this feature, but they really wanted to make it right.
We built our whole marketing campaign around it, right? Like your time has come. I mean,
absolutely. And I gotta say, virtual Ronnie2k is looking good. Virtual Ronnie2k is looking pretty good.
Yeah,
so.
no, I mean all the virtual ones. I mean the guys that got face scanned, the community guys that came in. Obviously, shout out to those dudes. And then we also had some press members put it up, which was pretty amazing. I mean, and then obviously Smooth on Monday, which we'll get into in a little bit too. There's been a lot of them. Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers. It's been crazy.
It's pretty insane to think that you're going to be able to purchase the game, use the PlayStation camera or the Xbox Kinect, scan your face into the game.
Yeah.
It's still kind of surreal to say that. So, it's just going to bring another level of realism to the game, and this technology is just crazy. It's really, everybody that's tried it out, the community guys,
just blown away.
Press, media, whoever, friends, family, anybody that's actually seen this thing, it's just very enthralling to sit there, do the face scanning process, and just kind of wait
the scariest
as it
thing to
starts
me,
constructing your face.
For sure. The scariest thing to me is how it interacts, too. Like, obviously, you see it on the screen when you create your player, and it's blinking at you, and you're like, wow, that's freaky. And then all of a sudden, your player's in the game, you're interacting with NBA players, which we'll get into in a minute, but having those emotions on the endorsements, like having really pronounced emotions. Like, this is a living, breathing thing. This isn't just some photo that we're taking off and making something out of.
So matching a template, correct. This is actually constructing your face. So if you got a narrow face like mine, it's going to pick that up. If you got features that stand out, it's going to actually construct those features. And the great thing is we have a brand new create a player system in NBA 2K15. So if you don't face scan yourself, you can actually sculpt faces and really customize and modify a face like never before in our series history. So really giving the players everything that they need to create, sculpt, and just add more players to the game. And of course, 150 create a player spots there to import into my GM and my league. So some really, really cool things there.
Actually, I want you to repeat that, Chris, because there were a lot of I got asked that a lot. Go into that a little bit, how, importing guys into those particular modes.
Yeah, so if you read Brian joined us from Bleacher Report on Community Day. If you read his stuff, he was really excited to talk about this. But you can actually create up to 150 players and import them into my league. And that's pretty cool because I know a lot of people want to create their own teams and whatnot. So you can actually create individual players, bring them on over. And like I said, unlike last year, we listened to the fan feedback. We came out with this new technology last year, the graphics, the way that my career was. And we had templates, right? So you could choose the templates and kind of equip stuff on top of those templates. But now, what's the next evolution? And people wanted customization. How about face scanning yourself? And like I said, if you don't face scan yourself, you can actually modify, customize, tweak, and sculpt.
The deepest system ever.
Sculpt your face, so you can sculpt your features. So you want to make my long beaky nose, you can make my long beaky nose. You can make whatever you want really with the new features. So that's a really cool thing, especially for people that like to play these association type modes and in my league especially, because that mode's going to be insane for anybody that is a fan of old association modes. It's really my league on steroids.
Yeah.
My league or association on steroids. One medium member.
We're going to get into this in a little bit, but just every mode is really on steroids, right? Like everything that people ask for a particular mode, we've got it in there. I mean, the most requested thing for career was obviously face scan. Auction house for my team and challenges for my team. It's really taking it to another level with 15. We really have something for everyone in this game.
Now, of course, with the scan, we are also introduced to a special person called the Beard Guru, James Harden's Beard Guru. So I don't know if you saw the spot. You probably did.
James Harden.
I know you've been quoting the Beard Guru, and you want a Beard Guru T-shirt. So
we're
gonna have to figure that out. But how cool is it? The face scan technology actually picks up facial hair. And that's pretty insane too.
It's crazy. It's so sophisticated in that kind of terms. That's why I wanted to actually do my broad. Everybody's like, you're always clean shaven. Not right now, because I've been in Europe for a long time. And why did you do this scan with a beard? And it's like, I think it's really cool to show that it actually captures your beard as opposed to being clean shaven. And I think that would be easier. So I wanted to prove it both ways. So the variety of heads, I mean, one of the big reasons we did Community Day the day that we did is because we wanted to make sure that we got a lot of people to scan and put out examples of it. And I mean, me or you doing it is one thing, but 30 people doing it from random, walks of life and random kind of looks and stuff. It's very, very cool how great it was. And then obviously, anytime I show it to somebody, like I showed it to Seth Meyers and Fallon. Actually, you showed it to Seth Meyers.
Yes.
They're just like completely blown away.
It was really funny because Seth Meyers actually, he's like, well, tweak that a little bit and turn it to the side again. Yeah, let's do that. That looks good. That looks great. You know,
Yeah.
It's crazy to see, people wanting to additionally sculpt their face. And the crazy thing is, once you do the scan, you don't have to modify
You don't
that
really
much,
have to
which is
modify
the
anything.
really crazy thing about
But
the
I
technology.
do want to caution the fans in that lighting is super important. That's something that we've learned a lot about. Like the first time I actually had to scan Jimmy twice.
Yes.
The first time I scanned him, it didn't go very well. But the reason we did that was because it was sort of this like log cabin that we were in. It's this wooden kind of area. And as soon as I walked in there, I'm like, this is going to be difficult because the lighting wasn't great. Lighting is super, super important. So make sure that you guys have that. I mean, it's scanning the depth of your face, right?
And because
you can't do that without light.
Because it's scanning that depth. The reason why people are asking, why are we using the PlayStation camera and the Xbox Kinect? The cameras have a really crazy sense of technology in terms of depth. So it's looking at the shadows on your face. It will even pick up if you have pimples on your face. It'll pick up pimples in the moment. Now, the great thing is, let's say you scan and you are clean-shaven or you want to grow a beard out. You can actually rescan at any point during your mic career. So
awesome.
I'm playing 20 games in. I say, I decide I don't want my goatee anymore. I clean-shave myself. You know what I can do? I can go in there. I can rescan at any point and make any modifications I want mid-career, and it will save and continue on your career.
I fully expect
that's
that
a really cool thing. It's not just a one thing.
A one-time kind of deal.
Yeah, it's any time you want.
And I fully expect that people are going to want to make it perfect. Like however long it takes, they're going to want to make it perfect. So yeah, and the buzz that we've gotten off of this thing, I mean, literally after we put out the face scan stuff, it was all over the internet, and I thank you guys for helping us do that. Obviously, sharing it with everyone that everybody's time had come. Anybody can be in a basketball game. We showed it to one of the late night guys, and he was like, I've always wanted to be in a video game. I've always wanted to be in a sports video game. This is my chance. This is anybody's chance. It's really amazing.
It's really one of the coolest features on one of the most played modes. But moving on, there's another really cool community announcement. And you might have checked out the new host, Rachel, for NBA 2K TV. So we are launching a brand new in-game feature called NBA 2K TV. Every time you boot up NBA 2K15, it's going to start you right off there. Rachel's going to greet you. And weekly, I don't want to say episodic content, but weekly content streamed right into the game. Interviews with devs, interviews with athletes, celebrities, all that good stuff. It's going to be right there in the game. So something innovative, because you've seen, these community channels associated with companies, but no one's ever really streamed it live within the console right there.
Well, it's not live, but it's
streamed live.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's really crazy.
It is very cool. It's something
to
that
talk about.
No other company has done before, and it'll allow you to kind of get the latest and greatest, community stuff, challenges, some of the things that we got going on that we still haven't even announced yet. It's going to be very, very cool. Interviews with devs, which is really important. I mean, we do it on social media, obviously, but to bring it to the console is taking it to another level.
Yes, and it's very great, and we're very excited for NBA 2K TV. But let's get on to some other stuff that happened. Of course, late night, you saw Kevin Durant on Jimmy Fallon. You saw James Harden on Seth Meyers. Ronnie, what did you think of that? And their appearances.
Oh man, how funny and how different were the two of them. Obviously, Fallon talked to KD, and the interview that they had about KD playing as LeBron. We're having visitors.
We have bystanders.
We have fans. Our time has come.
Yes.
Having KD talk about how his favorite player to play in NBA 2K is LeBron, that moment was just so funny. And there were so many other things that he said about his love for NBA 2K, and it's a really good interview, so we kind of encourage you guys to check it out if you haven't. We posted a clip of it yesterday on Instagram, but the whole interview can be seen on, obviously, Fallon's page.
I bet you 100% of everybody watching has played as LeBron James at one point or another in any NBA 2K game. myself included.
You
of
got
course.
to, but yeah, I mean, Kevin was really kind of humble about it, and everybody's probably played as Kevin as well. So
Yes. Now we're gonna get to some My Career news coming up, guys. So we're just kind of catching up on some of this.
it's been
this
10
other
days.
stuff.
It's been a lot has happened in those 10 days.
And one thing that I really liked was the Momentous trailer dropping, of course, yesterday. That set the world on fire, and that's something that I think a lot of people were excited for. I've been talking about the crowds, how amazing these crowds are going to be, how amazing these big shots are in the fourth quarter. You know, we've had some games. I'm Kobe, using my Lakers, of course. Kobe hitting big shots in the fourth, the crowd erupting.
You know, Kobe,
and it just gives
Kobe
you,
wasn't in the Momentous
it
trailer.
gives you a sense. We'll get to that.
We'll get to
that.
that.
I had a little discussion with Momentous about not including any of my Lakers in there. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you have these new crowd reactions to shots, you have these peaks and valleys. The team did an incredible job of really making you feel like you're in the arena in this brand new atmosphere, especially in the fourth quarter. It's one of my favorite things about NBA 2K15, and you saw it put on display.
Well, the peaks and valleys of the
right
crowd,
there
right? Like, obviously, the crowds with the T-shirts of their team colors, but, I mean, it's not completely going off. It's like an ebb and a flow, like a regular basketball game would be. Way smarter than it's ever been before. And I really, as a Kevin Durant fan, I really appreciated the OKC crowd being up before tip off, and then like not sitting down until obviously the first basket, just like it happens at Chesapeake. Very, very cool.
It's very cool, and like I said, everybody. I remember at the GameStop Expo, we were playing people, and I was telling them about the crowd. And then we had these close fourth quarter games, and everybody was just so into the game, and people had headphones on, screaming at each other, and getting excited, jumping. You know, it was really awesome.
And you know, if those close games are awesome, but if a game isn't close, the crowd starts leaving, which is also realistic as well.
So on Tuesday, if Ronnie's the home team, the crowd's gonna leave after I start.
I sort of teed that up, didn't I?
Exactly.
Very good.
But yeah, it's just the we've been saying it all year long. The attention to detail, the authenticity of the NBA experience and the NBA and everything around the NBA is something that we really, really wanted to nail down. Like, unlike any sports game ever before it. And the team has done an incredible job, both from a gameplay perspective to on the court to off the court and beyond. And speaking of off the court, Ronnie, there was something that was at the end of Momentous that's kind of highly controversial right now. People are debating what it is, and they're yelling at us.
I haven't seen anybody really figure it out yet.
Nobody has it figured out. And you want to talk about that? Because I saw 3 images pop up at the end of the Momentous trailer.
Yes.
And
I mean, I don't know how I want to get into
what
this.
What do you want to say about these images, Ronnie2k?
If you guys haven't seen it, you definitely need to check out the very end. And we're talking about after the end slates of the Momentous trailer. Some very, very interesting subject material. And, you know, we have how many days left? I think 11, something like that.
So close.
Yeah, we're very close. And I really expect us to kind of hit you guys with that final knockout punch next week.
There's been a lot of questions. You know, we started off this whole NBA 2K15 cycle, of course, bringing crew back on last gen PS3 and 360, where that technology was built, of course. And so that was really exciting for the team to do that for the last gen users, because there's still a lot of people playing on last gen, and we really wanted to bring that game mode back because people loved it. But it is a very popular mode, and as we mentioned way back when, that team's very aware of those aspects of what makes crew fun. Now, crew's not returning to next gen. It's not going to be on PS4 and Xbox One, but we do
in its current form
and PC in the form that you knew it. But we do have some surprises next week that I think we're going to make crew fans pretty excited, and I think a lot of people that are skeptical about the park or had some criticisms about the park are going to be really excited to see where we're going with this year's My Park mode, which you might have seen on the menu if you watch the NBA 2K TV trailer. There's a lot of Easter eggs that kind of lead into each other if you're paying attention.
And let's be honest, those are super purposeful. Like, there have been a lot of teases today. I don't know if you saw this, Chris, but some of the achievements dropped, and there were a couple kind of interesting things in there.
They leaked.
Yeah, but I mean, the timing of that
happens every year.
The timing of that is definitely on purpose.
It's very interesting, and I will say this: we've, you know, Chris Smoove was up here. We had the.
Yeah, we haven't talked about his videos, by the way.
Yeah, we got a lot to. I'm trying to get through everything. Plus, give you guys some new My Career news, which I know you guys are going to appreciate. But the community guys were in here, and all of them were very, very excited about what we have in store for you guys next week. So that you're going to be hearing from them as soon as we start talking about it, as well as what Smoove saw. And if I could quote Smoove on what he saw, he called it, quote, perfect. So I'm very excited to talk about this next week. We're going to let the speculation kind of fly. I want to know what you guys think of the 3 images. Of course, you saw the Rivet City Rough Riders.
Yep.
The Old Town Flyers.
Yep.
And the Sunset Beach Ballers. I don't know what this means, Ronnie. Well, I do know what it means, but I can't talk about what it means quite
you
yet.
know what it means.
We're very, very excited about next week, guys.
It's all been kind of crescendoing into it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, face scan was so important. Another thing that we haven't talked about was Smooth and our video Wednesday, mentors, right? Like, this year, every team in the NBA, something that was really, we found that a lot of people did not like about last year's game was in scenes, you would have players talking to you, but they actually weren't talking to you. It was subtitles and a very stern face. And so we went out, we busted our you-know-what, and tracked these guys down and got a lot of lines recorded from some of the top guys in the NBA.
And it's not just a conversation where he's like, "Hey, Ronnie, how you doing? Play better next game, boy." Oh yeah.
See you later.
Good old chap.
It's a lot of lines.
It is. It's a lot of lines.
I mean, there was examples of it. Obviously, Smooth dropped some. We dropped a trailer full of them as well. It's and to have face scan and that on top of each other is very, very cool. Like, having Durant talk to you, like literally you, is amazing.
This is a perfect segue, actually, because now we can actually talk about what this means. So you're going to be able to bring NBA 2K15 into your house on October 7th. Go pre-order today if you haven't. Face scan yourself in the game. So now you're not going to have to worry about looking like somebody else. You're going to be you. That's a big deal. And then you have your My Career, and your journey really begins, Ronnie, within your My Career. So as Ronnie mentioned, you have these mentors, and you're going to have at least one for every single NBA team in the league, at least one. Some have multiple in some cases, and that's a really big deal because there's going to be certain things within the storyline of My Career and the way that we guide you through it that are going to be pretty revealing and also help you teach you the game of basketball. Because we felt, after playing the park last year and playing with a lot of random people, there's a lot of people that say they know basketball, but they might not really know basketball.
Right.
Some of you guys know it. You know the X's and O's. You know the offenses to run.
Yeah, but I mean, not everybody that's on our broadcast plays our game, obviously, right? So we definitely wanted to do a better job of teaching people basketball. But it's not just that. I mean, a lot of the fun stuff is still in there, the off-the-court stuff. But, I mean, there is much more of a focus of what's going on in the court.
Absolutely. And the mentors, the really cool thing about the mentors, guys, and I can't harp on this enough, it's not like they came in and read a script. They actually talked about their experiences, their real-life experiences in the NBA, dealing with coaches, dealing with good teammates, dealing with not-so-good teammates, and dealing with just all the off-court issues that NBA players have to deal with on a daily basis. And that's something that's really, again, authentic to the game of basketball, and I think people are going to really enjoy about NBA 2K15's My Career.
So that wasn't all Smooth did, by the way, this week anyway. He's actually told me that he's going to do a gameplay impressions thing. He was super blown away by our gameplay. We dropped something on gameplay this morning, actually. If you guys haven't seen it, the Czar made a video about the freelance offensive sets. Definitely check that out. But going back to Smooth for a second, Monday he released the first, the opening scene for Career. I mean, there's a million of them, but the very opening one, which really sets up a story that's way different than anything we've had before.
Yeah, it really is. And, of course, this year, you're not going to actually go through the NBA draft. You're an undrafted rookie who didn't get, obviously, drafted. So you're going to have some emotions there with your player agent who maybe made some promises that you'd be heading to the league. And you don't start off the season, unlike years past, where you get drafted, you start off in the season, you start off game one. You're actually starting off 6 months down the road, Ronnie. And this brings a different dynamic to the game because you're battling for a 10-day contract. And here's the deal. You can choose most of the teams that are interested in you, and other teams will have varying interest in you. So if you want to go to a really good team, you have 6 minutes to make an impression on what team you go to based on your teammate grade and based on how you perform in that scrimmage, that workout, that tryout, essentially. So you're battling for a 10-day contract, and it's going to come down to skill. It's going to also come down to knowing how to play the game of basketball, knowing how to play NBA 2K15, and really where you want to end up on that first year, Ronnie, because we have tons of surprises come year 2 that we'll get into in a little bit. But the 10-day contract thing is a really interesting take and a different approach to My Career.
Totally different approach. And it also allows you to kind of dictate where you want to end up, but not be like completely there right away. I mean, it's it's a very kind of cool balance of, letting you. Last year we felt like there wasn't enough control on what you could do. There was no free agency. Obviously, that's their 10-day contracts is literally the meaning of free agency. So it's a different take. And then the very next day, he talked about coaching 101, which is a completely different kind of metric for how well your guy's doing. He revealed a couple scenes with some of the film sessions that we have in the game. I mean, that's really different and kind of cool. Teaching you the game of basketball. Very, very, very interesting.
It's a real-time analysis of how you're playing in the coach satisfaction grade
within the team's kind of system.
Exactly, and people are assuming that a lot of the stuff is tied into how it was last year. This is all completely new.
Completely new.
So one of the criticisms last year was I'm asked to score 10 points in a row as a rookie, and my teammates are shooting. The gameplay team went in. They made sure that the points of emphasis that the coach is putting down, which will reflect your of course, coach satisfaction grade. Everything's in sync. So if you need to get the ball down in the post and feed the bigs, that's what the team's going to be buying into. It's no more of, hey, I need to call for the ball and shoot a shot and get up 10 points. The goals are made realistically and intertwined with what your team is doing based on those points of emphasis within my career. So a brand new AI system that really plays really, really nicely with what you're doing, both as an individual on the team, what your role is and what your position is, and what your teammates are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the coaching 101 and having a coach satisfaction system, it just takes it to another level. Very neat.
I'm going to come back here with you.
I know, I was starting to to be honest, Chris and myself, like, we've been obviously pounding on trying to get all of these assets done. We've been working just the smooth, for example.
More bystanders. Everybody loves and comes and
becomes fans of us.
I guess they have to knock on the window. Let's talk about the upgrade system. This is something that...
Oh, sorry. Can I finish that last point? You
always cutting me off.
No.
That's what they always say.
Oh,
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm always
Finish
cutting off. No, you cut me off, actually. I just wanted to say that we've obviously been traveling around so much the last few days. I've been in New York since, Sunday, something like that. We had that late night. We had Smooth here on Sunday, and then we took a all-night thing to New York that same night, and then we had to do all this crazy stuff Monday through Wednesday.
Capturing footage, editing on Saturday.
Just amazing. And then trying to approve the videos as well. Like, with those videos don't just go up by themselves.
Missed flights, missed hotel rooms.
It's pretty amazing.
It's been a very wild week for everybody, but this is what it is around launch time. This is when everything ramps up and gets crazy.
It's been a whirlwind adventure, but
Absolutely.
we are 11 days away. We cannot be more excited, and next week is really the culmination of everything. So, speaking of which, your segue to what you were talking about, which is the My Career
let's talk about some stuff
upgrades
that people may know a little bit about, but we're gonna go into a little bit more depth. One criticism was last year if my player day one I can get him up to a 99. On the park, it was more of a jack of all trades. Didn't really matter what position you were. In fact,
there were a million 99s, right? Like,
a lot of 99s.
Everybody played exactly the same.
Exactly. Everybody was playing the same, and the athletic forward was actually one of the better positions to choose.
Yep.
We looked at all that. The gameplay team looked at it. The My Career team looked at it. The people creating the multiplayer looked at it. I almost said something I wasn't supposed to. The multiplayer aspects of it.
Yep.
We really wanted to balance out everything and make sure that this year it's not just about adding in attributes and putting your player up to a 99. So there's been a lot of balancing to the way that you upgrade your My Player. And this is something I'm personally excited about because we're going to be talking a lot more about what the My Park entails. But in terms of My Career, your upgrade system is completely reinvented. And it really makes you specialize in these buckets, Ronnie2k.
Yeah, buckets is totally the right word because you're building a player with a certain skill set to have a certain expertise, and you're going to have to make some decisions along the way on how to do that. It's not like you said. It's not like, oh, my dunk rating needs to be this. It's about becoming a specialized player, so we have different styles, on the park and in anything that we do on kind of multiplayer career.
Where last year you could dump all your stuff into one quote-unquote bucket. If you wanted to be a really good shooter, you could go in, max it out, be great at shooting. We really didn't want that to be the case this year. We wanted to make it more specialized. So even though you can dump all your attributes in, there's a couple things that are really interesting. This year from the top level, we wanted to allow players to make their own player type. I want to be a shooter. I don't know what kind of player you want to be. Probably a forward?
Well, I like kind of the athletic small forward, which is funny because that was the power position last year, but I've been
Right.
playing that position every single year.
So you want to look at stuff like
Slasher, you know.
Right. So the way that it works is we broke it down into 6 buckets. You have outside shooting, inside shooting, athlete, playmaker, rebounder, and defender. And here's the thing: based on your position, there are 20 upgrades in each category, and you can actually upgrade those up to 75 upgrades. To earn the rest of the 25, you have to actually play My Career, progress through My Career, and also play My Park.
Yeah.
So what this means is you're not going to see a bunch of 99ers running around out there. There's a ceiling cap to what you put into your My Players early on, which makes it a really cool evolutional.
You're
type of
rewarded for
process.
playing career, getting through it, evolving. I mean, that's what people asked for, and that's what we wanted to deliver.
Absolutely. And the other really cool thing about it is, of course, the badges, which we talked about on our last broadcast.
Yep.
But as we mentioned, you actually have to earn these badges in your My Career. So what this means is, the badges aren't necessarily exclusive to buckets, but some badges do have attribute requirements. So, like, if you're a level 16 athlete as a point guard, and that makes your strength attribute a 60, you won't be strong enough to earn bruiser, for example.
Which would totally make sense.
Makes sense, right? So the earning of the badges, you can't just go and pick what badges you want. You have to earn them, and then from there, there's different tiers of badges. So you have bronze, silver, and gold, and you can upgrade to silver or gold once you earn a badge. But you're going to have to earn those badges this year, and that's something, again, we wanted to go back to a system of earning, not just exactly giving it to you and handing it out on a silver platter.
Yeah.
So it's going to make you play what your position is. It's going to make you and help you define what kind of My Player you have, and it's going to really help the badge system define players even more. Because unlike last year, signature skills and personality badges are now rolled into one
Just
system.
one badge system.
Which is a unified badge system this year, which is extremely balanced, extremely polished, and it really took away from the stuff last year. Posterizer was a really fan favorite.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of posterizers out there, Deadeye, stuff like that.
You shouldn't be able to get posterizer if you have such really high ratings in like outside shooting.
Exactly.
That's basically what we're trying to address.
Exactly. So balancing, it comes back to that balancing effort, and I think a lot of people are going to really like that because people want to earn stuff and people want to specialize their My Players and kind of create that player that they want. And we're going to be talking more about that next week.
Well, actually,
well.
we're gonna be working with OS and some of the extraneous groups to kind of put out a more detailed explanation of this. But macro level, we just said that there are 6 attributes. There's 20 upgradable opportunities, and you can really evolve your player into very, very different styles. And this can be harder to make like a Dirk Nowitzki, who's kind of a long distance, 3-point shooter at the 4 or 5, than something else. So very, very cool. And what I think the biggest upgrade is the things that we're going to be talking about next week, which is the perfect segue, which is My Park, right? Like that's
Yes.
having different play styles is going to differentiate people on the park, which was not the case last year. Everybody was a 99. Everybody could shoot, dunk, do everything. This year, there's going to be a lot more difference, and it's going to make for a better experience and define roles on our multiplayer experiences. I know I'm struggling with this because I so want to talk about that, but
this goes beyond just My Career.
We're just days away.
This goes beyond My Career, and you saw a little hint of that at the end of the Momentous trailer. We're going to be talking about My Park next week, and we're going to have a lot of announcements for that, a lot of breakdowns for that.
But it's not just My Park. That's the amazing part, right?
It's
not just My Park.
It's going to be a very,
very fun.
interesting week for us. But I think you guys are going to really like the balancing that's been put. And again, coming across the game modes, we've talked about My League, My GM.
We talked about
so
6
much.
million things.
Every game mode,
My
from
team.
the gameplay to the game modes, they've added what the fans have been asking for. They've added balance to every game mode, balance to the gameplay. The gameplay is just phenomenal this year. And you're going to get your first peek of that, like we mentioned, on Tuesday. So we're very excited about that. There's a lot of good things to talk about. I'm excited.
Well, which is kind of a good segue back to 14, right? Like this is our 14 retirement broadcast where we're playing 14 for the last time. 14 had such a great foundation and has allowed us to really turn 15 into this amazing game with all your features taken to another level. we have packed in so much, but we couldn't have done that if 14 wasn't so fantastic in terms of the next gen leap that we took and setting a foundation.
Yeah, creating a foundation.
Yep.
I just got a question. So wait, you have to purchase badges? No, you can't purchase any badges this year. You have to earn every single badge in my career. So earning is the name of the game. You know, really playing through that mode, and
you have to earn badges.
You have to earn badges and learn how to play within your position, which is going to be really important.
But you can only get badges if your attributes are a certain level to have that badge make feasible sense.
Right. So you're going to have to choose what kind of player you want to be.
Yeah, and think about the badges ahead of time. Like you're going to have to build your guy to be certain, you know, have a certain skill set so you can earn the certain badges.
Absolutely. So there's a lot that we just went over, and I'm just trying to look over some of these notes
If we
here.
missed anything, we probably missed about 17 things.
Yeah, it's just a ton of stuff, and you know we could sit here all day. But check out Chris Smooth's videos. Check out our community guys' videos. Two Brothers Gaming has put out some exclusive My Team
on My Team, yep. We're going to post that on Facebook probably tomorrow.
And one thing I really like about this year is we've worked with the community members, dev teams work with the community members to release information, and that's something new we really haven't done. So connecting with you guys, the fans, the community.
I mean, I can't remember a year that we've put out more between like the various channels that we do it, right? Like, I mean, working with obviously Chris Smooth, but then on top of the other guys, like it's been really kind of great. So I think that's it, Chris. I think that's everything we want to talk about from the past 10 days. If I'm forgetting, actually, I'm sorry. I got one more thing.
Yes.
Yesterday, I accidentally, not really, talked about All-Star Team Up. And people were like, what is All-Star Team Up?
Let's break down All-Star Team Up.
What is going on with All-Star Team Up? What is that?
So, in the past, we've looked at player behavior because we do that a lot for you guys that like fake charges in the backcourt, which, by the way, Ronnie2k,
Charge cheese.
It's killed. A lot of the cheese, that cheddar, as Scott O'Gallagher and myself like to talk about, we are chopping that cheddar in half. We are cutting that cheese. We are making sure that everything that you guys disliked about the gameplay, that's right, cutting that cheese. We're getting rid of all that cheese. So we are really making a concerted effort to make this a sim basketball game with the best basketball you've seen.
How would that have happened?
Hopefully it's still back on.
Check.
But yes.
All right, we see.
I've yelled in their ears. I'm breaking your microphones. But I'm excited about this, Ronnie, because no more charged cheese. No more.
Is the audio dead, Mike? Mar?
We're still good.
Can you guys hear us?
All right, we're still talking.
People are saying they can't hear us.
Cutting that
And they're getting very upset.
cutting that in half, though, and really, you know, making sure that everything's balanced, because we want to make the most competitive game.
They're saying the mic's on.
No sound. Did I break the mic? It's
Again,
good.
guys.
It's good now. It's good now, is what they're saying.
That's good.
So,
Are we back?
Yeah.
That's so weird. What did you change? Sorry about that, guys. Again, in our live stream room, our main guy is not here today, and we got back and we wanted to do a broadcast today. So thank you for being patient with us.
But I forget what I was in. Oh,
we were talking about All-Star Team Up. Let's start over.
Going back to player behavior, cutting cheese in half in the gameplay.
No, we should talk about All-Star Team. I don't think they heard us.
Yeah. Going back to the player behavior, though, we noticed that a lot of people, if they didn't get the position that they wanted in in a team-up game in the past, they'd quit out. They'd try to play with their friends. So we're trying to figure out a way.
They want to play very nicely.
Right, but people enjoy playing 5v5 competitive games. 5v5 competitive games. People enjoy that. We know that.
I wonder why you're bringing that up.
Going back to Team Up, looking at why people were quitting out. So the dev team introduced something new this year for both last gen and next gen called All-Star Team Up, Ronnie.
Yeah, an All-Star Team Up allows you to play with all-star players as in team-up role. So, you know, as opposed to just having role players, you can still do that. We still have that. But there's also an all-star mode where you get to play with the best of the best, and everybody kind of gets an opportunity to play with the best guy on every team. We wanted both, right? We wanted people to have the opportunity to play the best guys in the league against each other. Right, Chris?
Absolutely. And this is going to be a fun mode because I know, like, getting friends together and you being able to play with better players. It's going to, incentivize people to stay in those team up games and play, because that's a mode we really enjoy. And I know I've set up.
It's a fun mode.
I've set up team up games with the community members and played with tons of fans and stuff. And honestly, those team up games, it like doesn't get better than that when you have all these people, specializing in who they are and playing a role on their team. And it kind of goes back again, to bring it up.
I mean, I'll give you a perfect example.
That's making your player play like the position that you want.
I'll give you a perfect example that's sort of like you, right? Like,
yes.
This year, the Lakers aren't going to be very much fun to play in team up.
Not very much
Everybody's
fun
going to want to play Kobe,
period.
and nobody's going to want to play anybody else, right?
Right.
So this is sort of why we did it. You could go play All-Star team up, and you could play Kobe Bryant and not feel like you're going to get destroyed. You see how I got the Laker rip in there? That's amazing.
Why do you got to do that to me, man? Why does our game have to be so good when my Lakers are so bad?
Yeah.
But that's okay, because I'm still going to be repping the purple and yellow and playing with them online.
That's good, man.
But yeah, All-Star team up, that's going to be something fun, something new. And,
very cool.
I think it's going to be just another small addition to the many that we have.
To the many additions that we have.
NBA 2K50. I mean, everything's been completely overhauled and revamped, and really we've looked at a lot of fan feedback on everything across the board. And it's one thing to say that, but then you start seeing the changes. You hear about my league, you hear about my GM, you hear about my team. It was a really, really positive response on that. More options added to online leagues. All these things that devs are able to do. All-Star team up and team up return, of course. So, just so many things. And then there's just straight up gameplay, which is kind of like the icing on the cake, because the gameplay is just so fun.
And it's just amazing. We just haven't really talked about it as much because there's been shaky cam videos and stuff like that. And
right.
Obviously, like stuff like the Czar, there's been gameplay within things, but there hasn't just been one full gameplay. So let's set the stage for next week. I mean, that is definitely happening. Tuesday, we are going to have a first 5-on-5 game. We talked about an idea of having us play, Chris.
Yes.
What we sim the NBA Finals, like just let it sim the tournament and see who we get as the Eastern and Western team. We gotta figure out what teams we're playing. We still haven't discussed that.
Yeah, we should let the fans decide maybe. I think a lot of people want to see. I've seen a lot of tweets about Cavs and Thunder.
Feel free to tweet us.
People want to see those teams.
Feel free to tweet us and let us know what teams you'd like to see. Otherwise, we'll probably just sim random teams and kind of figure it out that way. We feel comfortable with most teams, so it should be good.
Lakers.
The rest of the week though is also amazing. We're gonna have our TV spot debut sometime next week, which is really awesome. Features four of the best NBA players in the world. Very interesting. You guys should definitely want to check that out. Let's see. Obviously, we're going to talk about my park. We're going to talk about the stage, which everybody is wondering what the stage is.
What is the stage?
Yeah, I guess we're going to see.
What is the stage?
We're going to announce something else that nobody has even thought of that is going to make a lot of people very happy, I'm sure. Obviously, talk a lot about gameplay because we still need to kind of tie that dot together and talk about online, right? There's still things to talk about. So,
which, by the way, Rob Jones, going on the Press Row podcast, talked about how the team rewrote all the matchmaking code in the game, how they have these new tools, these new monitoring tools in real time to see what's going down. And let's say if something happens to a My Team server, the whole build is not going to come down. It's just going to be, they're going to be able to address that. Yeah. It's not going to bring down everything like you saw in the past. So definitely online was a major focus for the dev team this year, and they've made major strides.
In general, it's another year on next gen too, right? Like,
correct.
We learned a lot from next gen. Again, our game
brand new tech.
Our game shipped the day that next gen came out, right? So
people
that's always a
assume
struggle.
that it was a port over, and again, we didn't port over.
Obviously, we didn't port over anything.
So learning that tech and having that year,
but setting the foundation for us to be.
The foundation's a great word for it. Because even people that are skeptics of things like the park, which we get some skeptical tweets, and they're like, "Hey, this seems imbalanced, and I'd like to see this, or I'd like to see that." That the park was done in a very
one of the things that people hated about the park, I hated about the park, was that everybody was a 99 crazy person on there. That it was just and no role definition, no anything. That was addressed. We just talked about how that was addressed. You will not have that problem anymore.
Yes, that will be good. Also, did you know that the teammate grade this year has been changed a little bit, been tweaked in a
Yeah,
good way?
you know, I was noticing it. I was actually playing some career games with one of the late night guys, dudes, trying to get them beefed up a little bit.
We specifically removed the call for bad pass penalty because we realized that there were a lot of times where you needed the ball, going back to talking about the IQ of teammates and whatnot last year, and they wouldn't pass you the ball, so you'd hit that.
You'd get dinged.
You'd hit that X button a couple times, and guess what?
Yep.
You get dinged for that. So removing that was, I think, going to be a very positive thing for my career as well. Little things like that. There's just so much to talk about. I don't think we could ever
and we will get more in depth with some of the things that we talked about in terms of career and the buckets. Just stay tuned for that. We'll probably be posting that in the next couple days or so. But again, next week is going to be gigantic. We're really excited about a couple of the videos. I got to give my man here some credit. He's built a heck of a video that we'll, I'm sure, be talking a lot about over the next coming weeks. So
I think it should be fun.
It should be fun. I think that's it, right, Chris? If you guys have not pre-ordered, we just talked about it. I mean, every feature is something for everyone. We've given you guys what you want. Please pre-order. Lock in that VC. There was another Xbox One pre-order bonus that was released today.
Digitally, yes.
Yeah, there's a ton of VC that you can get. You can get ahead with some of this, some of building either whatever you want, my team, my career, whatever the mode of your choice, and get ahead. So lock down that pre-order, and we are just a few days away. I think it's 10 days actually. I think I got the math.
People are
wrong.
asking, are there new tattoos? Yes,
Yep.
there are a few new
Actually,
tattoos.
do you want to reveal something right now?
We could reveal something right now.
You know the joggers last year?
Yes.
You can roll them up.
You can roll them up.
Which is like so minute, but a lot of people really care about that stuff. And
it is
there's
cool.
There's a million things like that like it's just impossible for us to reveal everything, because the dev team works so hard, and we have an expert in every sort of kind of field, which is great.
I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be really cool. There's a lot of little things like that. Tattoos, rolling up
Rolling up
your
your
sleeves.
pants sleeves. I mean, I get it, but it's just amazing.
Customization. If we're gonna put your face in the game,
Yeah, I guess we should let you roll up your.
We're gonna do a
sleeve.
lot of customization options, and obviously, as Ronnie and I have talked about before, my career surpassed Quick Game last year for the most played mode. So there's a lot of people that are wondering about where their journey starts, where is it going. You're gonna have to earn a lot of things this year. And there's going to be a lot at stake for when you take your player off the hardwood to step out into the world of my park. And we're going to be talking about that next week. So stay tuned for that because we have a lot, and I mean a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about next week. So on Tuesday, we're going to play 5-on-5. So I hope you guys tune in for that. And then right after Tuesday, we're going to hit you with some nuggets. So I mean, we've hit you with a lot, but we still got some more in the tank. So very excited for the last 10 days here, and go and pre-order, and we will see you on Tuesday. Yeah, Chris?
Yes, there's also alternate jerseys in my career. Did you know that?
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Throw that out there.
Yes. Yes. Let's get ready for Tuesday. We have a big week ahead of us, and just know your time has come to go and pre-order NBA 2K15, which drops October 7th and October 10th internationally.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go sleep for like 3 days now, and we will see you. I'm not sleeping. That's such a lie. I'm going to be up doing stuff for 2K for the next few days.
I'm going to go play some NBA 2K15.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you Tuesday for our first ever 5-on-5 full-length gameplay. Until then, have a good weekend. See you next week.
Peace.